For a bill of exchange to be effective, it must embody all of the required items. The issuance is the first step. To issue a draft comprises two behaviors to be performed by the drawer. One is to draw and sign a draft. The other is to deliver it to the payee. In addition to the act of issuance, there are some other acts. We'll introduce them one by one. After the draft is drawn, then it can be negotiated freely till it matures. The act of negotiation is called endorsement. This behavior involves two parties, endorser and endorsee. When a payee or holder signs his name on the back of the instrument for the purpose of transferring it to another person, he is called an endorser. He is liable to any of his subsequent endorser. Endorsee is the person to whom an instrument is endorsed. He is the holder of an instrument. A valid endorsement should be normally effected on the back of a draft and signed by the endorser. Besides, it must be made for the whole amount of the draft. Endorsement has three types. Blank endorsement is one that shows an endorser's signature only and specifies no endorsee. A draft so endorsed becomes payable to bearer. The second type is restrictive endorsement, which prohibits further transfer of the draft. The third type is indicative endorsement, which specifies paying to the order of an endorsee. A draft with an indicative endorsement can be further endorsed to any other person. Before the bill of exchange matures, the last holder needs to present it for acceptance. If the drawee agrees and accepts, he needs to make an acceptance on the bill of exchange. The acceptor will sign his name on the face, indicating that he will pay on due date. Then the drawee becomes an acceptor. A valid act of acceptance should include three elements: the word of accepted, date of acceptance, and the signature of drawee or acceptor. One thing to remember: conditional acceptance and partial acceptance are not allowed and can be regarded as dishonor. For the accepted draft, the acceptor needs to make payment at maturity. However, the drawee may refuse to accept the draft or refuse to make payment at maturity. Then dishonor took place. Dishonor refers to a failure or refusal to make acceptance on or payment of a draft when presented. In case of dishonor, the bona fide holder has recourse to all of his prior holders when protest. Protest is a written statement under seal, drawn up and signed by a notary public or other authorized person for the purpose of giving evidence that a bill of exchange has been presented by him for acceptance or for payment, but dishonored. A bona fide holder is the person who is in possession of an instrument that is complete and regular on the face, taken before maturity without notice of its previous dishonor, taken in good faith and for value, and taken without notice of any infirmity in the instrument or defect in the title of the person negotiating it. Next, we'll talk about the classifications of bills of exchange. Firstly, according to the issuer or drawer, bills of exchange can be divided into commercial draft and banker's draft. Commercial draft refers to a bill of exchange issued by a firm on another firm or on a bank, while banker's draft is a draft drawn by a bank on another bank. The next page presents an example for a commercial draft. It was drawn by China National Arts and Crafts Import-Export Corporation, Guangdong branch. The drawee or payer is the Deutsche Bank, Hong Kong. The payee is the order of Bank of China, Guangzhou branch, which is the drawer's accounting bank. Then another example is for banker's draft. Banker's draft is drawn by a bank on another bank. Here, the issuance bank is the Bank of Taiwan. The drawee bank or the payer is Bank of New Zealand, which is the correspondent bank of the issuing bank. One thing to remember, all of the banker's drafts are sight drafts or payable at sight. That is, the drawee bank needs to pay at sight of the bill of exchange. Banker's draft is the financial instrument used in remittances. According to acceptor, commercial draft can be further divided into commercial acceptance bill and banker's acceptance bill. The former refers to the commercial draft accepted by a firm, that is, a draft drawn by a firm on another firm. The latter refers to the commercial draft accepted by a bank, that is, a draft drawn by a firm on a bank. Since banks generally have higher credits than firms, a draft accepted by a bank is more easily to negotiate. In China, bankers' acceptance bills occupy almost 80% of the outstanding bills of exchange in the markets. Finally, according to whether the draft is accompanied by title documents, draft can be divided into clean bill and documentary bill. Clean bill is a bill without shipping documents attached thereto. That is, only a draft is used in international settlements. Documentary bill refers to a bill with shipping documents attached thereto. That is, in international settlements, both draft and the documents are used together.